Welcome to Subramani. One question which two people have asked me, and I wanted to answer it in a better way, is why do advisors and investors switch their funds? Well, the answers are very long, so let me take some time in explaining. First of all, one switch which every investor or every advisor should have made or should make is shifting from the dividend option to the capital growth option, because it never makes sense to have a current income if you can push it from a current income to a capital gain. Though of course this is not true for retired people, old people above 80 who have more concessional rates of taxation, but even if they have a huge current income, then it still makes sense to be in capital gain mode or a growth mode rather than in a dividend mode. This is true across all investors. So especially let's say if your children are young and you put money in some schemes, does it make sense to have that in dividend option? Answer is no, because that dividend will ultimately get clubbed with your income. So you're better off keeping it in growth option and taking it out when the kid turns 18, because after that there will be no clubbing. So similarly, let us say you're 52 years of age. Does it make sense for you to put money in a gilt fund? Answer is yes. Today the prices are reasonably good. So whether a fixed maturity plan of 6 years or something like a longer 20-year fund to go, from 20-year time to go for the fund, again it makes sense to be in capital growth mode rather than in dividend mode, because you may be only 54 now. For next 5 years you have high income, or next 6 years you have high income, and after that your income is likely to fall. So why would you want to pay tax on the dividend today when you get a chance to postpone your income by 5-6 years? It always makes sense. That is one very basic reason why most advisors would have suggested people to shift from a dividend plan to a growth plan. At that time they may have also shifted you out of that plan. If you are in ABC mutual fund in a dividend plan, they may have also asked you to shift to XYZ mutual fund, different scheme, because anyway you have to pay capital gains tax. This is really sad. I have done videos on this. I have no clue what is the impact. But any small shift, like you shift from dividend plan to growth plan, you pay tax. You shift from which is completely unfair, I don't see any reason why you should. If you shift from one equity fund to another equity fund, you pay tax. You shift from one debt fund to another debt fund, you pay tax. They have made shifting mutual funds very difficult. This suits the older mutual funds with high AUM, but does not suit the younger mutual funds. Sorry, I am digressing. So one reason is dividend to growth. Second is your risk-taking ability may have changed. 20 years ago, you were a young investor and the advisor wanted to keep you only in large cap and known kind of places. Now that your AUM increasing and your net worth increasing and your ability to take risk going up, he may want to stop you from putting money in large cap funds and bring you to a flexi cap fund, where the fund manager has more choice. Then you don't have to worry about how much you need to put in mid cap and small cap. You let one fund manager decide that for you. Or he may say, okay, some part of your money, let it be in a balanced advantage fund, where the fund manager takes a call whether to be in equity or debt. Like for example, I could keep my money in a large cap fund, a mid cap fund and a small cap fund, completely trusting my own ability to decide how to shift from, when to shift from mid to large, large to small or whatever, assuming I am good at it. Or I go and give this money to a flexi cap fund manager and say, boss, it's your job, you do it. Whether you should be 70% large cap, 20% mid cap, 10% small cap, or 40% large cap, 30% or 40% mid cap and the balance in small cap. You take the decision. Therefore, I am putting it in the flexi cap. Earlier flexi cap funds were not available. Now there are a lot of flexi cap funds, good funds, well managed. So I may have, the advisor may have then suggested that okay, instead of being in a large cap fund where the fund manager is severely restricted, he can invest only in the top 70-80 companies, not even in the top 100 companies. Instead of that, I will give him or her the choice of where to invest. So let me give that person a choice. And again, a balanced advantage fund. Or somebody could come and say, Look, I think the prospects now for pharma are better than the prospects for technology. So why not get rid of your technology fund and put it into pharma fund? Does it make sense? I don't know, because then the fund advisor and you have to take the call on whether to make that shift. Now you can make the shift and say, yes, this is correct, IT does not have as much prospects as pharma, let me shift. Or you could say, okay, when everybody else is buying pharma, let me stay on in IT, because I know after a couple of years this will do well, so I will take a contrarian approach. Nothing right, nothing wrong, but the fund manager, the advisor and the investor have to sit and decide whether they want to take the specialized fund route. So it's possible that when you started 20 years ago or 25 years ago or even 7 years ago, you decided that you don't want any of these specialized funds because you thought you would let the fund manager do. If really the prospects for pharma are better than IT, it is my FlexiCap fund manager's job to sell IT and buy pharma. It is his job, not my job to see that, right? But somehow now you may have taken the view, okay, let me put a small amount in a pharma fund because my advisor is saying, and see what happens. And lo and behold, in 2 years it actually does well. Then you may be tempted to take more such small decisions, which is a deviation from your portfolio, but that style may have changed. You may have shifted from a nice, good, proper job to an entrepreneurial kind of a business, let's say a business. Then the advisor may have decided that, okay, let me just pull some money out of equity and put it into debt, because his life has become like equity. Because earlier he had a job where he could get salary on the 1st of every month or on the 30th of the month, and now something is changing, so let me reduce the risk in his portfolio. Perfectly possible. Your wife was working somewhere, now she turned an entrepreneur. Your wife was an entrepreneur, she has sold off her business, so now you want more cash flow out of your business, and her money may have to be invested very differently. So many circumstances could change. Your daughter could be 15 or 16 and you may want to put that money in a separate account, so that after 2 years, 3 years she is going to be needing that money. So you start for your 8-year-old son or your 11-year-old daughter, you start putting money in a separate company, in a separate fund, and then you remove it only when they turn 18. What has happened is last 8 years, 9 years, appreciation goes to their account. There is no clubbing because they are already 18, and you have to remember to withdraw that money only after they are 18. So this could be a reason why you could stop your SIP in one fund and start in another fund in your son's name or your daughter's name, or to say, okay, your father has kept money in bank fixed deposit, or rather, let's say there is somebody who is giving money away to his father, giving money to his parents, say 15,000 rupees a month. Does it make sense for you to earn money, pay tax and give money to your parents? No, it may make more sense to transfer the capital itself. So you may want to withdraw, say 20 lakhs or 30 lakhs from your account, put it in your dad's name and ask your dad to invest in maybe bank fixed deposit, so that the income comes to them directly. So for tax reasons, for avoiding clubbing, for making sure that the cash does not come to you, it goes to your parents. Doing all these kind of things, you could just be doing switching because of these reasons. There can't be many. There are other reasons also. For example, some of the newer fund houses may have better schemes. They have more aggressive managers who get better results. So you may want to take some money out of some of the old fund houses that you have and put it into new funds. What about people in, say, HDFC, where Prashant Jain's quitting is a big change. So you may want to quit from Prashant Jain schemes and get into HDFC's own schemes, which are with some other fund managers. Or you may want to get out of that fund house and go into some other fund house. All these possibilities are there. So if somebody is suggesting a switch, it is not always wrong, it's not always right, but you should know the motive for which it is being done. That is very important for you to know. So how will you know that? Is just by talking to your advisor, or if you have read articles, discussing that with somebody and saying why you are shifting. Because remember, today there are 42 fund houses. Into the year 2000, I don't think there were more than 10, right? So you have greater choices. You may want to look at some of the newer fund houses, newer schemes, newer methodologies, right? There was no balance advantage fund even 10 years back or 12 years back. flexi-cap was not a very popular category. Now you see all those kind of things happening. A lot of retirement plans. So you might take money from a entrepreneurial person and put it into a retirement plan which has got maybe 50-60% in debt and 30-40% in equity. You may do that. You may also do that when one fund is performing very well. Let us say you put 50 lakhs into that fund and that has become 3 crores. You may want to remove some money off the table and say this is too much froth, let me take some money and put it into a retirement plan which has more debt and less equity. So all these reasons could be, the reasons why your advisor is suggesting a switch. So look at it, pay attention and then decide what to do. Thank you.